So if you're watching on the telly, you will see that I have a wonderful guest beside me and a box of goodies. If you're listening on the radio, we're going to explain all of this. West Auckland's houses sell for over $1 million a piece now, but many families and young people in Lynn, Gleneden and other suburbs are still struggling to make ends meet. That's why Jo Noema and her husband Daniel started a charitable trust, Generation Ignite, late last year, to give back to the community and help break the cycle of poverty. The trust helps at-risk youth with mentoring and teaching vital skills, and today they opened a food bank and community garden, and the produce in that garden is in the studio. The food bank takes inspiration from Nadia Lim's My Food Bag. Each week, families receive a pack with recipes and food. Jo Noema, welcome.
Thank you.
To the studio. It's lovely to have you in here. Right, so let's start with the obvious, which is this lovely box of food in front of us.
Yes.
So who gets this and why?
So this whole food bank idea was birthed out of the food need that we saw with our at-risk youth last year. So throughout the year...
Where did you see that food need? Who are these kids?
Okay, so we have a community youth group that we run on a Friday night, and that's where Dan is currently. So I'm here flying solo, but that's okay. And basically, when we first launched, so it was end of 2014, and we went out onto the street. We ran 2 weeks of free youth events, and we tried to meet whoever the young people were out and about in Lynn. And through them, we developed relationships, and we met up with them. What's your needs? How can we meet them? And let's try and be responsive as we can to what the needs are. So that's how we got to know these young people. And the food need ranges from, at one point last year, we had a group of young people that we had built relationship with, 8 of them in a 2-bedroom unit in Gleneden. And some of them had absconded from SIFS care, and so they weren't receiving sort of funds or anything like that. A lot of them had just come off the street and they'd found a unit, and so they had huge food need.
So you've started... Now look, I'm getting instructions to move the box. Would you like me to do something with the box? This way? Lovely. Oh, away from the mic. You stay there.
Okay.
Thank Brilliant. You. Okay, thanks, Jo. So,
yes,
you decided to do this yourselves. You've grown the food. So this is from your community garden?
Yes.
And it's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
It's just, I
can't actually take credit for that. We've had amazing volunteers.
Yeah. So once again, this is like Te Puia Marae. This is people who give a damn rising up at community level and say, we're going to do something about this. Except in your case, there's a very special reason for doing that. And that is your husband, Daniel, and his own experience receiving love and support as a young person who was at risk, really, wasn't he?
That's right.
Tell me about that.
So Dan was born and raised in West and South Auckland. He was born into a dysfunctional family, a home affected by drug and alcohol abuse. And so he spent time travelling from various family members to get away from dad in a women's refuge. And when he was when he hit his teenage years, he started experimenting himself and was kind of on that at-risk pathway, following in the footsteps of his dad. At that point, a family friend who was a pastor of a church in Gleneden stepped in and helped relocate their family from south back to west to a safe house, offered him a full-time job at 15. So he dropped out of school and started working as a drain layer, and then took on a really a mentoring role, a father figure role in his life, taught him how to save and how to budget and helped him buy his first car. And from that point was a real turnaround, obviously, in Dan's life.
And so Dan is, paying it forward? I guess that's how...
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Dan understands what impact love and care and concern can have on a at-risk adolescent, right?
Yeah, that's right. And like he said today at our launch, if you've not had much, you appreciate the small things that people will do for you. And so we're not saying this is a massive thing, but for people who don't have much, it can make a difference,
I also think what I sense is that the fact that someone cares about you makes a difference.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, if you are alienated and marginalised and going off the rails, just the simple manifestation of some interest in you can be profoundly affecting, can't it?
Yeah. And a lot of people see our at-risk youth as a problem to be solved, but they need investment and they need more than just money thrown at them, the initiatives that throw money at these young people and give them these opportunities. They need people to walk alongside them and show them what that looks like. Give them a chance, a second chance, a third chance, and do life, we call it, do life alongside these young people and be that example.
Now, you've talked about money being thrown at people, but you've thrown your own money at this, right? You sold your house.
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
So you and Daniel had worked really hard,
Yeah.
and you'd managed miraculously to buy a house in Auckland, and you've
Yes.
decided to sell it and invest your money in starting this up?
Yeah, so in 2014 is when we sold. And for us, even though it might not make a lot of sense to people who are on the outside looking in, it was just our first step in. This is what we believe that we want to do and what we feel we're called to do. So let's make the decision, jump in the deep end. Let's not have an excuse to settle back and pay a mortgage and just get busy doing our own thing again. So that was our first step. And through that, we met amazing people along the way, our lawyers and different people who've supported us and helped us grow the trust.
And when you connect with at-risk kids and make a difference, how rewarding is that?
Amazing. Yeah, it is. And people say, oh, what a sacrifice, you're spending your time with these at-risk youth. They're actually just good people to be around. They're fun to hang around,
Yeah.
It's not like it's work or a challenge. I mean, it has challenges, but we enjoy it, and it's something that we're passionate about.
Right, if people want to find out more, do you have a website? Do you have all of that?
Our
kind of stuff?
website is under construction. We have a Facebook page.
Okay, what is your Facebook page? Tell us.
Generation Ignite.
Generation Ignite?
Yes, that's our trust name.
Okay.
Find us on Facebook.
And this is your food bank bag, and I see sausage and pumpkin rice pilaf.
Yes.
So it's stuff that you can make very easily from scratch.
That's right. So everything in this food box is there for a reason. So some of our young people said when they were growing up, the food that was in the house was random things like flour and butter, and they couldn't eat it, or if they were hungry enough, they did. So the idea is, instead of giving out random ingredients, let's parcel things together so that they can make a meal out of it. So this is a large food box with 2 meals inside, with other essential items that they might need.
And a manifestation of love, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Jo and Noema, thank you so much for joining us. Jo's organisation is Generation Ignite, and you can find out more on their Facebook page.